All right, testing one, two, testing one, two. Think we're good. Think we're good. All right, how y'all doing today? Welcome to the Count It All Joy podcast with your boy Will. I'm back with another episode today. This episode is different than the past episodes I've uploaded. The past episodes you guys have heard. Uh, it's a story time, so that's one of the things I wanted to do when I first made this podcast. I wanted to be able to tell stories, real stories, authentic stories, uh, for people to relate to let people know the lessons I've learned through the stories and the things I've been through, and for my guests as well, to let them tell their stories and the things they've been through and the things they prevailed through or the things they didn't do as well or so forth and so on. So, uh, I'm gonna have a good bit of these, some with other people. This one's just me today. But yeah, this is a story time about something that it really changed my life. I can't even lie. It changed my life for the better though. It's not a real like great situation, but it definitely changed my life for the better. Um, but with me, I tell stories with all the context in the world, with all the background, with all the prior knowledge. So first, I have to start with I kind of probably already mentioned in the first episode, but I'm from Norcross. I grew up in Norcross my whole life. Uh, I will always rep Norcross forever. That's my city. I love Norcross. I went to school there all the way up through high school. Uh, I grew up going to a private school in Norcross called Hopewell Christian Academy. Shout out Hopewell and everybody that went there. So Hopewell, it was a school made by the church, Hopewell Baptist Church, and they made the school, but it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Uh, I'm thankful to this day for that experience, that private school experience. It wasn't just like a normal private school. It really shaped who I am today, and I still have best friends that went to Hopewell with me, and I was going there since I was like 3 years old. So Hopewell has definitely been a huge part of my life. But yeah, I went to Hopewell, and then that same Hopewell like building, it turned into like a charter school. But basically, the same people that went to Hopewell still went there because it was at the same building or whatever. But obviously, you had new people because it turned into a performing arts school called North Metro. But anyway, I went there, and then I ended up going to Norcross High School. Shout out Norcross High School. And this is really where the story, I guess, starts, I guess. So, my freshman year, so this was about, man, okay, I was about 14. So, it was about 8 years ago. That's crazy. About 8 years ago. Uh, my freshman year, I was at Norcross. I was playing freshman. I was supposed to be playing JV, but that's a whole nother story for another day. Like, supposed to be playing JV my freshman year because I came up through the rankings. I was playing GBL. GBL is Gwinnett Basketball League, so that's fifth through seventh grade. I believe. So like the people that are affiliated with your city, whatever team you're playing with, they're watching you. They're watching you as you grow up. So they already knew of me. So I was supposed to be on JV, but that's a whole nother topic from there. It doesn't matter. But I was playing freshman. I played freshman my freshman year, sophomore. I mean JV my sophomore year and so forth and so on. But so I was at Norcross my freshman year, and I it was really fun for me, honestly. It was different though because private school, I wasn't anywhere close to a menace, but I definitely got away with a lot of stuff. I did a lot of stuff because I was a little kid. I was immature. My mom taught at the school as well, so I would get in trouble twice. Like if I got in trouble in class with the teacher, I know I'm getting a spanking when I get home because they're not just. It would be stuff that they could just keep in the room. Like, okay, well, you have silent lunch. All right, whatever. I'll take my silent lunch. But that silent lunch is turning into a whooping, because they're telling my mom at like throughout the day, or when they see her later in the day, yeah, Will asked having lunch today. He wouldn't stop talking in class, blah blah blah, or he did this. So I'm getting in trouble 2, 3 times. I'm getting in trouble by the teacher. I'm getting in trouble by my mom at school, and then I'm getting in trouble again. We get like it was that whole thing is crazy, but that whole dynamic, I guess. But uh, like I said, I was like not sheltered whatsoever because I would always get in trouble for stuff I did, but it was like more of a family. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody's parents. So like the stuff people did, it wasn't like blown out of proportion. So I say that to say, when I got to Norcross, that obviously wasn't a thing. Uh, it was about 3,500 kids there. They're not worried about just one kid. So so this way, I'm sorry, I gave about 6 minute backstory, but this is how I tell my stories. I like giving everything. So this was freshman year, bro, and like I said, I played freshman basketball, so we had practice Monday through Friday, but it wasn't for that long. It was maybe for an hour and a half, maybe if that, because their real focus was varsity. So we would have practice like after school. We would probably have the earliest practice, like maybe right after school, or so we got out like 2:10. So we would probably have practice maybe 2:30, 2:45. Uh, and it would be like I said, hour 15, if that. So as a freshman, obviously you don't have a license. At least in Georgia, you can't get a license until like 16. You can't get your permit till 15. So everybody's waiting for their parents. So if you went to Norcross, you know that when you're waiting for your parents waiting to get picked up, 90% of the school, when they're waiting for their parents to pick them up, they're like by that door, uh, the exit door in the lunchroom. So it's like the whole lunchroom in Norcross, and like it's the doors like that lead to the outside, and it's like this like little pavilion, little area that people sit around and just chop it and slap box and talk trash and do whatever, right? So that's where everybody sits and waits for their parents to come pick them up. So that's what I was doing with my teammates. And like I told y'all, like always been a troll. Uh, Never really had a filter. I do more so now, right? Thank God. But back then, I didn't really have a filter. I said whatever came to my head. I did whatever I wanted to do as far as like intrusive thoughts. Said them. Things that I thought were funny. I did it. I did them. So this is really what the story leads to. But anyway, so like I said, I'm trying to paint the picture for y'all. But we're sitting outside waiting for our parents to pick us up. So this is on a Friday, right? Uh, this is on a Friday, and we're sitting outside, and we're just joking around, doing what we do, right? Joking with my teammates, trolling or whatever, right? And we're sitting down, and I thought I had the great idea of I was drinking this water bottle, right? Pure Life, shout out Pure Life, Nestle, love that water. That's the point. So I'm drinking the water, and I'm finished with the water bottle. And any competent, regular, normal citizen would just throw the water bottle away, right? Or recycle. I don't know if y'all like recycling, but whatever. Anyway, you throw it away. I didn't throw the water bottle away, right? I had the great idea to put the water bottle in my pants and have it seem as if, I had an erection. Trolling, right? With my friends. Got a good laugh. That's what it was. And I thought it would be more funny to do it to someone else. So it was this girl, and I still don't remember to this day. She was either Indian or Hispanic. I don't really remember. Um, I want to say Hispanic, but she might have been Indian. I'm not sure, but uh, and it was that girl, and it was a dude like sitting down, like not too far from us. So I went over there, and I did the same thing. I had the water bottle. My pants was already poking out or whatever, and I went up to them, and I was like, it was really to the girl, but the dude was right there, and I was like, have you ever seen a DICK this big, right? And we all started laughing. It was obviously a joke. And I'm like, nah, I'll just play it, right? Gotta get a laugh in. And I went about my day, right? Maybe 5 minutes later, my mom came to pick me up. So mind you, this is probably like 4 or 4:30 p.m. maybe, or maybe like 3:34. It don't matter, but it was around that time. So I'm I go home, right? Just it's normal for me. I go home and boom. So fast forward to Monday, right? Like I said, that was on a Friday. So fast forward to Monday. I I'm in class. I remember like it was yesterday. Coach Burkhart's class. It was I think I want to say world history. It was some social studies class, but I want to say it was world history. But uh, I'm in class, and normally we're in the actual classroom, but this day for some reason we were across the hall in the computer lab working on. We probably had a project we were working on or something. But Coach Burkhart, he was the soccer coach uh for Norcross, and the girls soccer coach. And I remember I was in his class, and Nate was in that class. My boy Nate Gordon, he'll be on one of these pods, on one of these episodes soon. But he could he could like second this, but he was in that class with me at the time. We weren't even cool like that. Like I didn't even know him like that. He didn't even know me, but I just thought Nate was weird. He probably thought I was annoying. So for the song. So we we're sitting in class and somebody knocks on the door, and it's an officer, and he's like, do you have a William Great Watson or William Watson, whatever he said, right? Do you have a William Watson in his class? And everybody's like, ooh, like, what'd you do? And I'm like, bro, I didn't do anything. So I'm sitting here like, he's like, William, can you come for me? Can you come with me and make sure you bring your stuff? So me, like, being oblivious to everything, I'm just thinking like, bro, like, okay, it must be something from the game that we had this weekend or something like that. I'm thinking maybe because back then, like freshman year, I was averaging probably like 20 something. It was freshman basketball, so it was, I had pretty good stats, but I'm thinking it was something. So I'm thinking because like at Norcross we had like this like what's it called, like this student TV type thing. So like student TV network. So like people have like morning announcements and so forth and so on, like news that the students would do, right? So I'm thinking maybe he's taking me to bring me there and get interviewed. I'm thinking of the best stuff, right? I'm not thinking anything negative, right? So he grabs me and he was like, um, when we walked outside, he was like, is this you? So he had on his phone a picture of me on a camera in like a stairwell in the school. Like it was random, right? I'm like, yes, sir. So at that point, I'm like, okay, everything I thought of just went out the window, right? Um, so I'm like, bro, like, okay, what am I in trouble for? I'm trying to think also. I'm trying to think of everything that happened this past week. The past week, I'm like, I didn't get in trouble. Now that we get silent lunch, I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. Like, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, the only thing it could be is shout out Miss Villalobos, my Spanish teacher, my freshman year. Austin was in that class. My boy Austin, he was in that class as well. That class was lit. But Miss Villalobos, right? One of my favorite teachers ever, right? I me, me and Miss Villalobos had like an interesting relationship. Like it was love, right? Not love, hate. It was love. But I used to get kicked out of her class every single day. Like I was a tyrant sometimes. I would talk too much. I would finish my work, start joking around. I would figure out words in Spanish and just start saying them randomly, like bleeping them out. I would stand on the table. I was immature, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just used to. I was extremely impetuous, like back then. Like not even impulsive, because it wasn't like stuff I was doing and I wasn't conscious of. Like I was conscious of every single consequence that could go with it. I just thought like the pros and cons. I think the pros outweigh the cons to me, right? Okay, I might get that class for 10 minutes, but whatever. It's funny, right? That's how I looked at it. But I was always making jokes, and Miss Villalobos knew I was. That's the one thing like people could never say. I was always a great student. I always did my work. I was always was respectful, right? Now you could say I was being disrespectful by disrupting the classroom, but the teachers always knew it was never me trying to be disrespect them. It was just me being immature, being a kid, joking around too much, playing with my friends, right? Not knowing time and place all the time. And that's really where I was always falling into trouble. Not knowing time and place. Uh, just always joking around, you know, making somebody laugh at the wrong time. So, yeah, but with Miss Villalobos, I'm thinking maybe it was that. Maybe Miss Villalobos, I'm like, man, not my dog snitched on me. I'm thinking Miss Villalobos snitched on me, was finally fed up with me or something. It was like, I'm tired of Will. I thought that's what happened, maybe. And then, so I'm thinking of that as we're like walking down the hall. And we're like, mind you, we're upstairs. So we're walking downstairs. And the officer, his name was LeBron Smith, Officer LeBron Smith, right? He was like, uh, so you don't know why I'm, yes, by the way, his name was LeBron. I kid you not, LeBron Smith. I don't know if he was older. I don't know if he's older or younger than LeBron, right? He might be older. He might have been the first LeBron. Maybe LeBron was named after Mr. LeBron Smith. I don't know. Either way, uh, me and Mr. Officer LeBron, we're walking down, and he's like, "So you don't know why I'm here?" I'm like, "No, sir. Like I have no idea." And he's like, "Okay." We walk like 20 seconds later. We keep walking like 20 seconds further. He's like, "So you really know why I'm here?" I'm like, "No, sir. Like not at all. I have no clue." He's like, "So you don't remember what happened Friday?" I'm like, Friday, like, what happened Friday? So I'm literally trying to like think of everything that might have happened up to that point. And I can't think of anything. And then I'm like, oh, there's no way. I'm like, bro, there's no way I'm in trouble because of that. And you know what I'm thinking? Let's do with the the water bottle, right? I'm like, there's no way Shorty really went and snitched on me or said, I don't know what she could have said, but no way I'm in trouble for that. I didn't touch her. I wasn't in her face. I didn't grab her. I'm like, there's no way I'm actually about to get in trouble for this. So he takes me downstairs and he gets one of the APs out of he was in a meeting with, I don't know who he was in a meeting with, but he was in a meeting with somebody. He took one of the APs out of the meeting and basically like, bro, he's like, here's Will. And then the AP asked me the story. And then I told him the story. And then the AP started laughing. I'm looking at Mr. Officer, bro. I'm like, dog, is this a joke? Like, okay, if this is a joke, why are we here? Like, why? If it's so funny, like, why am I in trouble then? So then Mr. LeBron, he takes me. I ain't say that, obviously, but like I said, I was respectful. I ain't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, what is he on? Like, you laughing, dog, and y'all got me over here like I'm in crazy trouble, and you over here joking around. Anyway, so Officer LeBron takes me to his office, and he's like, yeah, he goes over the story with me again, just wants me to tell the story one more time, like what happened. And I'm telling him what happened. And then he says the girl said that I came up to her, like same thing, I came up with the water bottle, blase, blase. But that I said that I wanted to basically F her, right? And that I wanted to have sex with her. I'm like, come on, dog. I'm goofy, but I ain't that goofy. Never been that goofy. You feel me? Like I would never say nothing that crazy or outlandish like that. You feel me? That ain't never been. That ain't never been my body ever, right? So I'm like, that's cap. I'm telling him, I'm like, that is a bold faced lie. I was like, look, I'll keep it a $1.50. What I told you is what happened. I went up with the water bottle, but it was poking out. I said, have you ever seen a DICK this big? Simple. Nothing more, nothing less. We all three of us laughed, and I walked off. I didn't touch her. I didn't look at her. I didn't wink at her. I didn't do none of that. So like, what? I don't understand why she said that, lied. I'm mad confused at this point. So, he's telling me, he's like, yeah, but I mean, this is what she's saying. But yeah, I hear you, but you're still in trouble for this. But I have to tell your coach. So instead of texting my freshman coach, shout out Coach Pack, by the way. Instead of texting my freshman coach, he texted the varsity head coach, right? And he texts him, and bro, I was like, dog, because up to that point, like you said, like I told y'all, freshman, JV, varsity, three different programs at that point. If you're on freshman, you're freshman. JV, you're JV. It might be a couple JV dudes that are, cool with varsity and stuff like that. They practice with them. But varsity was its own own whole different program. It wasn't like a whole like program together. So we didn't interact. The varsity coaches didn't interact with us. The only varsity coach that interacted with us was the freshman coach that was put down to freshmen to coach the freshmen, right? The freshmen, sorry. So, I didn't have any interactions with the head coach. So I'm like, dog, I don't know what's like, bro. And if you like, he was the most stoic dude you'll probably ever meet. So like, I'm like, dog, this is about to be bad. Anyway, so I uh I end up he texts him, and then he calls my mom. He's like, yeah, I gotta call your mom. So I'm like, oh man, I'm cooked. I'm fried. Like I'm like, it's GG's, bro. I'm thinking my mom, like, if you know what my mom is, the most strict woman on earth, dog. So it's like, bro, she don't play. So I'm like, dog, it's over. I'm like, bro, it's GG's. Like, I'm thinking I'm cooked, right? So he calls my mom. Mind you, she's a teacher, so she's at school while it's going on. She's teaching, and she never has her phone with her. Like, when she's teaching, she just always has her phone on silent, doesn't touch it, right, while she's teaching that whole day. So if you want to get in touch with her, you have to call the actual school and, like, have them, like, I forgot what it's called, but, like, call her on the intercom, basically. So he calls my mom, and he's telling her the story. And then he gives me the phone to talk to her. And I'm thinking she about to spaz, right? I'm thinking she about to go crazy on me, dog. I'm thinking she about to, like, say I'm in trouble. She about to take everything away for months. I'm thinking it's over. I'm like, bruh, I'm just thinking of everything bad, right? And she get on the phone and she say, William, I already told you. I told you stop playing up there. This not Hopewell. You can't joke around with these girls like that. You can't do all these things. You can't play around. You can't joke around like that. This is public school. It's not private school. You don't know these kids. You can't joke around. I was like, now, she was like, now, I know God's gonna take care of you, but whatever happens, happens. Cause I already told you what it was. So I'm praying for you, but hey, I already told you what it was. You don't listen. And that was it. And I'm balling at this point, though. I'm like, bro, not balling. I wasn't balling, but I was crying a little bit, tears, like a little bit tears of falling down my eyes. I'm like, bro, man, that was low key worse than the spaz, cause that was like the little disappointment talk, cause I wasn't expecting that. That caught me off guard. So I'm like, oh man. So when that happened, I'm like, bro, man. So after she got off the phone, made sure I was like, cause she answered. Oh, I didn't say that, cause when she answered the phone, she thought something was wrong. So she answered the phone. She's like, "Is he okay? Is William okay? Is William okay?" Blah, blah, blah. She thinking something wrong with me. And then Officer LeBron told her what happened, and I spoke to her. But after that, got off the phone. Officer LeBron, he's telling me, he's like, "Look, William, I'm looking at your grades, and yeah, you're obviously a good student. And then I've heard about you. I've only heard good stuff about you. So he was like, this was definitely a dumb mistake, but I think you're telling the truth. I have your back. I'm gonna make sure that everything I could do, I'm gonna do. But I need you to just make better decisions moving forward." So the athletic director, the AD of the school, comes in there, and we're talking to him, and he's basically saying that the girl can press charges, right? Sexual harassment. I'm like, huh? Sexual harassment? I'm like, dog, I said, like, I didn't touch her. I didn't, like, throw myself on her. I wasn't even in her face. I'm confused. Like, it was a joke. We laughed, kept it pushing. So I'm like, it just keeps getting worse. She lied, and then we're talking about sexual harassment. I'm like, whoa, this is like escalating a little bit too much for me. So I'm like, dog, what in the world is going on? So at this point, when he tells me that, and he act like he didn't care though. Like he was just like, yeah, she's probably pressed charges. I mean, but he was just acting like I was the worst human being on earth. Like I just murdered somebody or something. Like that's the kind of energy he was getting off when he walked in there. He was acting like I was some felon or something. So I'm like, dog, what? Like this is crazy. So when that happened, he walked out, and I'm at this point I'm balling because I'm like sexual harassment, bro. This on my At this get on my record, bro. It's GG's for my basketball career. So I'm thinking the worst at this point. I'm like, oh, basketball over. I'm finna be working at McDonald's, man. Like, I'm thinking of the worst. And nothing's wrong with McDonald's. If you have to work at McDonald's to provide for your family, if you gotta be a pooper scooper and scoop up dog poop to provide for your family, that's what you have to do, right? But I'm just saying, for me in my dreams, it would have crushed me, right? Knowing that I couldn't, fulfill them based off this idiotic decision I made, right? So that's really where my mind was at, and I'm like, dog, it's over. It's GG's. So when that happened, bro, I'm like, oh man, it's over with, bro. I'm like, bro, there's no way this can like actually turn into sexual harassment. Like this is crazy. But yeah, it ended up turning into it ended up not being that. Uh, it ended up just being. I ended up having OSS for 3 days, and we had a game that Wednesday. I couldn't participate, and yeah, that was really it. But it was just crazy because I'm like, dog, like, what's going on, bro? Like my life, like low key flashed before my eyes, where I'm like, bro, it really could have been over with, like over some dumb stuff, like over a little dumb, immature decision that I made, bro. Like that I thought was innocent, but obviously it wasn't, and like it just wasn't a smart decision. But it ended up not being that serious. Like I said, OSS, but I've gotten suspended so many times. I was just thankful, but that it was just that. But uh, so yeah, so I basically like I was suspended. So that was on Monday. So I got suspended for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We had that game Wednesday. I couldn't go to it, and I came back Friday. So for some reason, Friday it was a picture day. So I don't know what time of the season this was. Like I said, we had a game that Wednesday, so I don't know what time of the season it was, but we were already playing, and so we were taking pictures, and we're taking pictures just normal. I was cool with like all the varsity guys, so they're over there like, Will, what happened? Blah 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 blah. So I'm telling them the story. They were like, come on, Will, blah blah blah, doing all that, right? And while I'm doing that, and that's simultaneously like while we're taking pictures, team pictures and stuff like that. So the head coach of the varsity squad comes up and he's like, Will, come here. So I'm like, oh man. So I walk over there and I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, get your ASS in there. I'm like, oh, whoa. I'm like, all right. I sped walk into the locker room because like where the locker room is, it like bleeds into the gym. So like, yeah. But anyway, I walk into the locker room, and as we're walking in, he's like, uh, get in my effing office. I'm like, whoa, brother. In my head, I'm like, dog, what is bro on? But I got in his office. I tell you that. I got in the office. He opened, and then I sat down. And then he came in and slammed the door behind him, right? So I'm like, all right, what this dude finna say? So I'm sitting there, bro. He just staring at me like 30 seconds. I'm like, bro, like, what are we on? Dog said, do you know who I am? I was like, yes, sir. He was like, do you know who I am? Who am I? I was like, I say who he was, right? And he was like, okay, well, I don't know who the F you are. I was like, whoa, brothers. Like, why the hostility? Like, what? Mind you, I'm 14, bro. And that's the I'm thinking that's about to be like my head coach later on in a year or two. And he said that. I'm like, whoa, my spirit was crushed. I'm like, why you what? He's like, I don't know who the F you are. You don't have no offers, no scholarships. He's like, you're not ranked. He's like, I don't even know who you are. He was like, you out here doing all this stuff. I don't even know you like that. But he spazzed on me, right, going crazy. I'm like, bro, I'm almost finna cry because I'm like, dog, bro, going in on me, dog, like disrespecting me, like emasculating me, really, dog, like really emasculating me at this point, dog. So I'm like, bro, I'm feeling small as ever, right? And bro really was like spazzing on me. He was like, dog, he was like, the only reason you still in this program is because your mom's a teacher, and I have the utmost respect for her because I know the stuff she has to go through as a teacher. But if your mom wasn't a teacher, you'd be gone. You wouldn't touch a basketball here ever again at Norcross. I'm like, dog, that's what we on? I'm like, I. So he said all that. I'm like, bro, I'm about to cry, dog. I'm like, bro, why he on that? Like, why he on that, bro? Like, why you doing that? Like, I was like, bro, I get it. Like, reflects on your program, cool. But like, man, you didn't have to, bro, like really emasculate me or really put me in a place, really like made me feel small, extremely small. So I was like low key finna cry, bro. I had to, when the conversation was over, bro, I had to walk out there. I had to like literally lock in, bro, because I was about to cry. And then like when I walked out and they asked me what happened, I tried to act like nothing happened. I was like, nah, but bro, I was hurt. When I say hurt, I was hurt, bro. So like that happened, dog. And then like next, like my punishment, uh, like that next week, I had to basically run. I had to run first. I think I had to run a treadmill, and then after I was running on a treadmill for like 30 minutes, I had to run around varsity. Now varsity practice was 2 hours, right? I had to run around the court for the whole varsity practice for 2 hours, like nonstop, like jogging around the whole court. They over there just laughing. Like at one point, he like put me in for as like a body or whatever, and I was excited about that. Like that was the best part for me. 'Cause I was like, okay, I get to you feel me. I'm practicing. Obviously, that's not what it was for, but I'm over there practicing. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm over there. Okay, let me show what I got. But I was just all time defense, but it was whatever. Anyway, yeah, that was the punishment, and that's what really happened. But I mean, it was a crazy situation. Like uh, something that I didn't think was that deep, it turned into something deep, right? It turned into something more that could have been more, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, I learned many lessons from this like whole thing. Like I said, I mean, the decision. I was stuttering. The decision I made originally with making a little joke with the water bottle, it wasn't a smart decision, right? Obviously, uh like that whole situation really made me lock in, like as far as like I really have to be cognizant of the decision I'm doing. Like, yeah, I'm still a troll to this day, but there's certain stuff you can't do, and with certain people you can't do, right? It don't matter where you at or what you're doing or who you are. Like, it's just some stuff you can't do and can't take a chance on. So that was really instrumental for me because it had me lock in, because like I said, I was real impetuous. I really just made like a lot of dumb decisions and just stuff for laughs and just joking around, stuff to make myself laugh. And that wasn't always the best thing. So like going through that little, like, I guess, uh sexual harassment scare, that was really something for me. And uh it really made me put things into perspective, bro. Like, well, if you really want to do what you say you want to do and achieve your goals and achieve your dreams, bro, it can't just be on the court, bro. You have to show yourself a certain way off the court as well. And like I said, I was mad. I've always been respectful because that's how my mom taught me. But like the immaturity, I was extremely immature. I was always immature. So like I was mature in situations I had to be, like, because I was forced to growing up the way I did. But it was like when it was time to joke around, my best believe I would be the first one. I would be at the forefront making the most jokes, right? And it was just like always joking around, always trolling, not taking everything seriously. And it had me lock in. I'm like, bro, you everything's not a joke. Everything's not a game. And with that, it helped me realize that, and it helped me for the better. I didn't want it to happen, but God made that happen. He made it happen for me because sometimes people have to bump their head a few times, and I had to bump my head a lot of times until I figured out uh, how to really go about things. So that was really big for me. Uh, I really, like I said, looking back, I appreciated that time because I could have done the same thing again, and then it could have happened worse, or something else could happen. So I was appreciative the way it went down because God didn't put too much on me. Like He didn't let the girl like be able to lie on me and get away with it, right? Obviously, I got OSS for what I did, which I should have. I take that on the chin. Pause. But I appreciate that. I thank you for I appreciate God for the grace and the mercy that He had on me, even in that situation when it wasn't a great situation for me. I still got in trouble, but it could have been much worse. There's people now who get lied on and they're accused for stuff that they didn't even do, and they're in prison for. So I'm just thankful that God showed me early, like, look, Will, everything's not game, everything's not a joke. Uh, you know, I'm doing this for you though. At the end of the day, so that was big for me. That really changed my life. Like I said, I'm still a troll to this day. I still joke around, but that moment, that situation, really helped me uh compartmentalize when to do it and like how to do it, and um like just when to joke around, when not to joke around, who to joke around with, and so forth and so on. So that whole situation really just helped me mature quicker than I guess I was intending to. But yeah, and then like also I got humbled as well by the varsity coach. Like I said, I'm not saying like what he did was right, but I definitely got humbled, and that was just another way of just like maturing quicker, right? Uh, Knowing that everybody doesn't have multiple chances to keep trying to uh how do I say this, like everybody doesn't have multiple chances to keep trying to show who they are, right? I knew what type of person I was. I knew I was a great kid. I knew I was uh a stand-up dude, but I made dumb decisions, right? I joked around too much. I made crazy jokes, right? But like somebody that doesn't know you, they'll take one thing that you did and try to throw that in your face and make you seem like that's what you are when they don't know you at all, right? So I think that was another lesson I learned as far as like, look, not even like first impressions, but just like everywhere you go, everything you're doing, you want to make sure that you're showing your best self, right? And trying to present yourself in the best way possible, and trying to make sure people know that you're a child of God and you're trying to live your life for Him, right? And you're gonna mess up. You're gonna make mistakes because we all do. Nobody's perfect, but as much as possible, you're trying to, put your best foot forward and show who you really are, right, at the core. And that doesn't mean you have to tell your whole life story, right? But just trying to present yourself the best way possible. And me joking around with the water bottle and doing all that wasn't presenting myself in the best way possible. And I know that now. So uh that's really the story time, bro. I just really want y'all to hear that and hear kind of what I went through during that time, and how it was a life scare for me. Like my life low key did flash before my eyes, but uh it definitely helped me moving forward and in the future. Like it just helped me grow. It helped me grow up and mature way faster. So I appreciate that. And also shout out to Officer LeBron Smith. Like I said, he had my back the whole time. He was vouching for me. Uh, I really appreciate him. Like even in like the future stories I tell, even in the midst of the turmoil and like the trials and tribulations I've gone through, God has always put someone in like the middle of it that was always on my side and always knew who I really was and my intentions and always had my back. There's always been one person like that in all the stuff I've been through. And these future stories I'll tell, there's always been one person, at least one person that has been there and had my back and stood up for me in every situation. And in this story, it was Officer LeBron Smith, so I appreciate him for that. If anyone has contact to Officer LeBron, I would love to get in touch with him, talk to him. He really, even after that, he kept in touch with me. And I just really thank him for that. And I appreciate him. And it's always gonna be love on my end from Officer LeBron Smith. But yeah, y'all, I just want to tell that story. And it's a funny story looking back, but in the moment it wasn't great. But I'm thankful that it happened. So that's really what I wanted to talk about, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy, man. I hope y'all can learn something from this. I hope y'all can. Oh, I hope y'all can't relate to what I went through, but I hope it's a story that's, I don't even know if inspiring is the right word, but be able to get some insight and be able to spread some knowledge and just let y'all know stuff I went through during this and how I matured. And hopefully, I don't know if any kids are watching, but maybe if you're doing the same dumb stuff I used to do back then that's serious. And making the same mistakes over and over and over leads into adulthood. So nip it in the bud as soon as possible. But yeah, thank y'all, man, for tuning in, bro. Stay blessed, stay prayed up. Make sure you keep God first, man. And thank y'all for joining in. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.